Hey everyone, Chris here, and what you're about to listen to is an RH Gaiden, part of the content that is exclusive to our patrons over at Patreon. So if you want to hear more content like this, and you're just interested in supporting us in general, just head over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/retrohangover, or you can find it at linktree/retrohangover. That's linktr.ee/retrohangover, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.
To another episode of RH Gaiden. It's me, Chris. I am here to talk a little Streets of Rage 4 with you today, and I have a very special guest. He is from the Secret Levels podcast. I listen to him all the time. I'm a member of their Discord. We have great conversations that are totally appropriate, I can assure you. Well, not always. But here he is, everybody, for your listening pleasure, Goobz. Goobz, how you doing, man?
What is up, everyone? Hey, I'm Goobz, as you said, from Secret Levels podcast.
Yeah.
And we've been quite good friends for quite some time now. Shared a lot of conversations.
Yeah, it's been like, what, almost a year and a half now? At least a year.
Yeah.
Man,
oh, definitely. I'm quite happy to be a part of your Patreon episode. So Thank you to your patrons for listening to me and you talk some shit.
Absolutely. I'm happy here too, man. I'm not feeling blue. I heard... For some reason, I have this feeling you have a tendency to do that to people while listening to your episodes. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but...
I have no clue either. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Nothing blue here. Nothing at all. Just this beer I'm drinking. Any case, I do love that portion of
Well, if it's
show.
that blue, then it could be blue.
So before we get started, obviously you're part of the Secret Levels podcast. Do you mind telling our patrons where they can find you officially, and let's just get that out of the way?
Oh, you can find us absolutely goddamn everywhere.
Nice.
We're on Stitcher, iTunes, fucking Apple, Google's, iHeartRadios. We're on absolutely everything. Oh, and Spotify, too. We're on there. If you just do yourself a favor, just go to badsecretmedia.com. You can find out where the shows are listed. You can find out other shows that we have done, too, as well. badsecretmedia.com for all your needs.
That sounded extraordinarily professional. That was a good sales pitch, man.
Well, the first part where I'm saying apples and iTunes, maybe not. So
you wrapped it up nice.
Together at the end.
You stuck the landing. That's all that's important.
Got to keep it tight.
Everyone likes it. Everyone likes it tight.
If you don't, you're doing it wrong.
Hey. Now, sometimes you got to go for the loose ones. Make it easier.
It depends on what time it is at the bar at 2:00. Yeah, let's close it down.
I just got to take something, right? So that's what they're thinking too. In any case,
paper bag princess. That's all you need.
Hey, makes a good match for me. We're right there along with each other. Okay. So like I said at the beginning, today we're talking some Streets of Rage 4, which is a series.
I know something or two about raging, so.
Yeah, you do know something about raging. We're not going to have a rage meter, but if you do want to have a rage meter, as earlier said, go to a show. It's awesome when he rages. If you do want to get rageful, by all means, do it. I'm pretty sure there'll be some good opportunities to do so here. But
oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. So Streets of Rage is a series I think we're both very well acquainted with. I would say probably more Streets of Rage 2. So, Goobz, why don't you go ahead and tell people how you kind of got into the older Streets of Rage games, what you've played, what's your favorite, that kind of stuff.
Well, let's got to start with the first one, right? Like, I was a Nintendo kid growing up. Uh-huh. So I got a Sega Genesis like a little later after it came out because I was like, Super Nintendo is better than anything. But then I finally got a Sega Genesis and moved into a house. And they left their everything there. And there was a Sega Genesis with a quite good collection of games. And Streets of Rage is one of them. So that's how I acquired my Sega Genesis. And then that's how, these people just up and left everything in the house. So it was fucking weird. I played the shit out of Streets of Rage. Played it with my brother a lot because one of those games. My brother was younger, and it's an easy game for him to play. And then, or just give him a controller and make him feel like he's playing, that kind of thing.
That's the best way to have your little brother play.
Oh yeah, they feel like they're doing something, and you're not annoyed. So it's the best thing in the world. You do that with your children too. It's a nice little trick. Well, now our kids won't fucking fall for that at all. They're like, no, listen, boomer. This controller is not lit up. There is no player 2, so you suck. But yeah, I absolutely love that game, and it's one of the classic beat 'em ups of all time, and you can continue that throughout the series as well. Like 2's great. You had Axel in it, or not Axel, Skate. That was his name, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you have both Axel and Skate. They're both in it.
Yes, but Skate, like, everyone loves Skate.
Yeah, Skate's great.
Why not? He's fucking awesome.
Because it was the fucking 90s, and everyone was wearing rollerblades.
Yeah. Or skateboarders are making fun of people wearing rollerblades. Either way.
Exactly.
Fucking fruit booters.
Hey, I wore rollerblades with pride, so you can say whatever you fucking want to. I'm fucking rolling with skates. I'm rolling with Skate, man. I'm rolling with Sammy Skate.
Videos at some point. But yeah, it's always been there, and I always will go back and play those 3 games. And then I was very overwhelmed with joy when I found out they're making a 4th one years later. Like, I'm talking lots of years later.
Oh, yeah.
And then we found out fucking 2 years ago it was in development. It finally came out last year or the year before.
I think it was like 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, my track of time is all fucking blurred.
Yeah,
when you're old, it's just like a streamline of days, and you just go through it. It's like, oh, it's Christmas already? Goddamn.
2020 was both the longest and shortest year. I have no fucking idea how that happened. It's just, I look back and it's like, what the fuck? So yeah, everything everything that happened 2 years ago felt like it happened 3 years ago or a year ago, depending.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, well, those games are quite enjoyable. So it's the quintessential beat 'em up. We got that or Final Fight, right? You can pick either or, but people more side towards Streets of Rage.
Oh yeah, because
Pretty perfect game.
Yeah, Streets of Rage is way, 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 way better, man. I have to say that. And that's kind of where I got started with it. I didn't like barge into someone's house and take some squatter's Genesis, but
we bought the house and no, that shit was there. Dude,
that's why I said
fucking 3 weeks to clean it out. It was bad.
I said it was a squatter's.
Like
it was a squatter's Genesis, man. You bought the house and they're like, yeah, there's some squatters living in it, and we don't want to fucking deal with it. Just fucking take it, man.
I got a lot of good toys that way too.
Hell yeah. But I got the Genesis. I remember listening to your podcast actually, and you're one of the co-hosts on that episode. I think it was your episode 2, Zinger. I got it the same way Zinger did, where I got the Genesis that came with the Streets of Rage 2, and I didn't come with Sonic 2, but it came with the Mega Fire controller. It had turbo on it, like the TurboGrafx 16. It has those switches for all 3 of the buttons.
Oh yeah.
And so it came with that. And I would play Streets of Rage 2 with my friend, and I think my father quite a bit. I just love that game, man. I played the shit out of it. I would put in codes to put on the hardest difficulty and like give ourselves unlimited continues and put us at not unlimited continues, but like put us at the last level with the stage select on the hardest difficulty and just see if we could survive the single level. And it was always a good time. Got into the other ones a little bit later, like Streets of Rage 1. I got into a little bit later, and that's a pretty good game. I think the difficulty there it's a little high, especially when you have to fight Mona and Lisa or the Girl Blaze bosses, which is a giant pain.
That was quite weird that you and Zinger both had the same experience by playing 2 first and then going back and playing.
Yeah, I mean,
1.
I think that's pretty common for people our age, because I think Streets of Rage, the original one, came out in 89 or 90. And people our age didn't get invested. You came across the Genesis, but for most of us, we didn't get invested into the Sega Genesis until Sonic came out. That's when most people that are Nintendo kids, like both of us were, started paying attention to Sega, is when Sonic came out. Like, oh, okay, there might be something going on with the Sega shit. I think that makes sense for a lot of people our age, generally. I think the if you go about someone 10 years older than us, you're going to hear Streets of Rage and Golden Axe. But for us, yeah, Streets of Rage 2 would be the starter.
Yes.
And then you got
Golden Axe, that was a fucking classic too. If you ever want to talk about Golden Axe, I'll jump back on for that shit.
Oh, we would go to blows, man. We would go to blows because I fucking hate that game. I not like Golden Axe. I am not a fan of that game. I fucking hate it.
That's it. I'm leaving the show. Thanks, patrons.
We'll get in that. Well, you know what? That's a good idea. I have to talk to Shane and get that in the main episode and see if we can get some Golden Axe action going on, because that's a good retro game. Not a fan of it, but
fuck yeah,
we'll definitely talk about it. But then went to Streets of Rage 3, and I fucking hated Streets of Rage 3. I hated that game. I'm not going to say it sucks, because if you play Bare Knuckle 3, which is the Japanese equivalent, it's a better game. It's more balanced. But in the United States, they jacked up the difficulty because of the rental market, or at least that's always the excuse. So people would take it home. They would have a hard time beating it, so it encouraged people to buy it. And it just wasn't fun. It wasn't fair. The difficulty wasn't balanced. It wasn't anything like that. I look back at Streets of Rage 2.
They give you the goodness of 2 and then just kind of...
Nah, man.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
They give you the goodness of 2 and just kind of smack you in the face. Here you go.
Yeah, there's something off about 3. Like, the music isn't as good. There's just all sorts of fucked up things. But that's why Streets of Rage 2, to be honest, is my favorite game of all time. Definitely it's my favorite Sega game. So when they announced Streets of Rage 4, I was super excited to see what they were going to do with it. I was cautiously optimistic because...
Were you kind of cautious as well, though? Because how bad 3 was compared?
Well, yeah, that's why I say cautiously optimistic. 1, because I didn't know what direction they're going to go with it. 2, the art style was a little weird. Just, you compare it to the art style that you had with 2 and 3, and it was definitely different, more cartoony. So I was really leery. And then again, it's a Sega franchise. So Sega has been known to fuck up a lot of shit when they try to bring it back. And it just hasn't worked out. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
like every system they try to make.
Oh yeah.
Kind of flops.
I mean, they've been getting better recently, so I'm happy about that. But there's a long stretch of time where Sega just could not get fucking right. But it came out. And overall, I mean, just kind of briefly before we get into it, my dog's starting to snore. Hopefully that doesn't pick up on my mic. But
it's okay. I got hammering going on upstairs, so hopefully that doesn't come through either.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's hammering. It might just be banging. Hey. But
I hope not.
But overall, I think Streets of Rage 4, baseline turned out pretty well. How about you?
Oh, I thought, just recently completed it, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It really felt like the older games, which is great. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy the little additions they had. Like, I love the juggling of the weapons where you can throw and catch them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is fun. That is a lot of fun.
I really enjoyed that. And, you get a little achievement for it, too. I was playing it on 360. I got it on the Switch as well. I got it 2 times, because why the fuck not?
Oh, it's not Game Pass.
Well, granted, it's free on Game Pass.
Yeah.
But I like playing it better on the 360 controller than I did on the Joy-Cons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't like the Joy-Cons at all. I'm not a big fan of the Joy-Cons. I've always tried to find a way to replace them. But in any case, yeah, let's move forward. And like we said, we both think this game turned out well, I think. So there's not going to be much debate on that. But one of the things I didn't like about the game was the story. I think the story kind of sucked. Like, why is there even a story here? So basically,
yeah, we don't play these games for the fucking story anyways.
No, you don't. And that's a fair point.
Wait. Here, I'll do you a favor. It's time for story time with Chris.
I love it.
You can have that one for free.
Thank you. I felt like going shink.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
No. I'm trying not to bring all that stuff from your show over here, man, because I want to keep it unique to your stuff. But thank you. I do appreciate it.
I don't know. I just have to give one. It was funny.
I love it. So basically the gist here is that Mr. X dead or some shit? I mean, obviously, okay. This game takes place a little while after Streets of Rage 3. It's directly canonical in terms of plot. And the only reason you know that is because Streets of Rage 3 had a stupid unnecessary plot too that they wanted to give you a lot of exposition with. So essentially, like, Mr. X is either dead or he's retired or he's in jail or I don't fucking know where he's at. He's just not there anymore. I probably would know if I paid better attention, but like you said...
Well, he's on fucking Epstein's Island.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right there. He's hanging out with Mr. Epstein. There it is. He's hanging out with Jeff. And apparently his kids, the Y twins, I don't know why there were the Y twins. I mean, I guess that's fitting. Like, why are they there? But in any case, they're the enemies and they're causing all sorts of problems in the city and all sorts of problems with corruption within the police force and all this shit. And now it's your job as Axel, Blaze, and Cherry, and Floyd, not Adam quite yet, but he gets in there to go stop them. And this story, I'm sorry, man, I fucking hated it. And the fact they put it in between every single fucking level, it didn't feel right. It felt like a waste of time.
Yeah, you get a little cutscene in between.
Yeah.
Luckily, you can skip it.
You can.
But for review purposes, I had to sit through it. It's like, yeah, this is kind of meaningless right now. Like, just let me get back to punching people in the face and kicking open containers and grabbing weapons off the ground.
Exactly.
Or food.
But I do kind of like to know what I'm doing. So, like, you go back to the plot in Streets of Rage 1 and 2.
Yeah, but you don't really get that in Streets of Rage 2. You go and you're just raging on the street.
Well, yeah. But you know why you're raging on the street. It's simple. Like in Streets of Rage 1 and 2. Why are you raging on the street? Because Mr. X is an evil motherfucker, and you gotta go beat up Mr. X. And in the second one, Mr. X kidnapped Adam, so you gotta go beat up Mr. X with Adam's little brother. And that's all you needed to know. And what you find is that, like, Mr. X is still intimidating because you see him just sitting in the chair, and he sends, like, Shiva after you to beat the fuck out of you. Or he has your partner out there to beat the fuck out of you. And it's like, okay, this is cool. Like, it tells a story without telling a story. Then you get to Streets of Rage 3, and it's like shit with robots. And then you get to Streets of Rage 4, and it's like his two annoying, pesky, emo kids are just trying to ruin your life. And it's like, this is fucking dumb.
They're like animated versions of the twins off of The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're all wearing the gray getup, like white hair and shit, too. I'm like, yep, these are them.
Yeah, I was not happy with the story. I was not happy about the fact that it had a story. I thought it was dumb. I really thought it was dumb. But going back to something positive, let's talk about the graphics, man. Did you like the graphics in this game? Did you like the way it was presented?
Oh, they're beautiful.
Oh my god, yes.
I really enjoyed the graphics of this game. By far best in the series, obviously, because it's a newer game. And plus the hand-drawn graphics, you can't beat that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of that shit. Like, I love Cuphead. Hand-drawn graphics. You were talking to me last night behind closed doors here, and you really sold me on that Wonder Boy game, so I gotta fucking play that too.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Which has some connections with this game as well.
Yeah, both made by .mu. So I don't know if it's the same team, but definitely the same company that produced it.
But the hand-drawn graphics, they sell me right away, and this game is fucking beautiful. Like when you see Blaze's bouncy hand-drawn titties for the first time, chef's kiss.
Yeah,
she has some big bazongas, man.
Yeah, the character designs, I mean, definitely bigger than the previous ones.
Oh fuck yeah, she's definitely got some work done, like Stephanie McMahon.
She's gone under the knife. Yeah, she definitely made a Stephanie McMahon transformation. I think she looks a little bit better than Stephanie McMahon, though. I just gotta put it out there.
Oh, 100%.
But I think one of the things that grabbed me, and initially I didn't like the graphical style. It took me a while to warm up to it. But one of the things that I learned to appreciate is that one of the standout things about Streets of Rage 1 and 2 is just how much all of the styling of the graphics, the detail, the backgrounds, the characters, everything about it is really this 90s urban aesthetic. It bleeds 90s. Everything about it just kind of it exudes the early 90s, late 80s kind of feel to it. I didn't get the feeling of the 90s vibe, which I thought would turn me off to it, but it doesn't take place during the 90s. It's a different art style that's more contemporary. No. I think that's why I ended up warming up to it and appreciating it more. I also love the fact that you can take those retro characters, put them right in there, and they don't look too crazily out of place.
Yeah, it's a nice addition to it, too, because you have the full fucking roster in there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. You got to unlock them and shit, but like still something for you to go for and achieve because you're going to want to play this game more than once.
Oh, yeah. And you pretty much have to. You have to play the game more than once. You don't have to. If you fucking hate it, you don't have to. I wouldn't recommend you replay a game you do not like. But
Was that a double crack we just got there?
yeah, double crack, double fisting, man. By the way, don't say double fisting to a Brit because they won't think you're talking about beer.
Oh, fighting?
No.
Oh, okay. Orifices.
Yes. Sticking things places.
And don't give them the peace sign after you say that.
What, they don't like the peace sign?
Oh, that means fuck you.
I thought it was a middle finger. I need to try this. I need to inquire with my Brit friends. That's cool.
It's pretty much like a middle finger or like fuck off, you tosser.
They fucking hate hippies, I guess.
Well, if you do it the other way around, I'm thinking like if you're at a bar and you put your fingers up, they can't hear you because loud music and do like the two.
Yeah.
You're telling the bartender to fuck off. But if you do it the other way around, I think that's acceptable.
We need to go
Yes,
to.
I'm doing that with my hand right now.
We need to go to Britain and find out. Settled.
I'd rather go to Singapore when I win the lottery and go to a ping pong show. You in?
I'm in. I am in. I have been to
Sweet.
Singapore, but I haven't been to a ping pong show. That needs to happen.
That's my life goal. So, anyways, back to Streets of Rage.
Yeah. Back to the topic du jour.
This is why I'm here, to sidetrack and talk about fucked up shit.
I'll fucking join you. But okay, characters, man. Characters. So we already talked about Axel. And they also have Blaze.
Old man Axel, like old man Logan.
Yes. So they have Axel, Blaze, Cherry, and Floyd to start you out. Axel and Blaze are the same characters from the previous three. And then Cherry is Adam's
Daughter.
Cherry is Adam's daughter. And then you have Floyd. I think, how is Floyd related to everybody? I think he's like Dr. Zan's guinea pig
I have
or something.
no fucking clue.
He's big beefy boy. So out of those
he's the
four
big guy.
starting characters, which one is your favorite?
Cherry.
Okay. Why?
Because
And I say this judgingly.
I know you do, because we kind of had a little discussion so far than last night again, and we're just like, let's save this for the show.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yo, Cherry's great. First of all, she's like an alt-rock chick, which is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Right up my MO. Like, I'm right into that shit. Like, she could be an emo chick or whatever. That's cool by me. She uses the fucking bass guitar as a weapon, which is awesome. And her jump on, when she jumps on people's bodies, like the grapple attack, and just starts punching them in the face, you can spam that and kill bosses pretty fucking fast.
Oh, wait, you can repeatedly just keep pressing that?
Oh no, you can hit, I think it's a 3-time, you go bop, 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 jump up, land on the other side, bop, 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 do the same thing.
Oh shit, I
You
did
can
not
just
know that.
repeat that constantly on like a boss with enough HP. So she's fucking deadly in that, right? And plus, she's one of the quicker characters in this game. I like fast characters. The guys in this game, besides Adam, are pretty fucking slow.
True.
Like Axel and Floyd are fucking like watching molasses come out of a jar. After you played as Cherry, you're just like, oh my god, really?
Especially Floyd.
Oh, Floyd's brutal, but he has that double grab attack where he smashes the coconuts together like people's heads.
Yeah.
So boom, like that's fun as hell.
Now, see, the reason I wanted to get into this, the reason I don't like Cherry, nothing against her character design. I hate the way she controls. I absolutely despise it. And let me tell you why. So initially I liked it because her dash attack would, you go flying across the screen. You could take
the
out
flaming
multiple
knee.
enemies. Like,
It's
okay.
great.
Yeah, it's fucking, I was like, oh, this is fucking really good. But then as I got further and further into the game, I for some reason, she just wasn't doing the same damage everyone else was doing. It would take me longer to clear out areas, and sure, stamina was lower, so I would get hurt more often. Or it's just I couldn't control her and maximize the same type of efficiency as I could with the other characters. So the first time I played the game, the first time I fired up and started playing it, just a blind playthrough or first playthrough, I selected Blaze, and I had absolutely no problem. I went through story mode, easy day. I did on normal, no issues. I went to, did arcade with Axel, no issues. So I went to arcade. I'm like, okay, I like arcade because I can get through it quicker and I can stack my lives and all whatever the hell I need to do as Cherry. And I got my ass handed to me. I don't know what the hell it was, man. She would go like flying across the screen and Then I would get like knocked around. I'd just get beaten the shit out of. I'd go pick up a weapon. That didn't help. Like, for some reason, she was just way more vulnerable and was so much more easy to kill for the baddies. And I just got my ass waxed on the last level. And I was thinking to myself,
That's fair.
this shouldn't
I guess
be happening.
you have to learn like her controls and shit.
Right.
He's got to be adapted to that style.
Why was it so much harder for her? Because if you go back to Streets of Rage 2, Skate was like the easy character. And she's like Skate. So that's like
Very
the character that like they made Skate a kid to appeal to kids to be more of the easy mode. And that's kind of what Cherry is. But man, when I say easy mode, I'm looking at Floyd. Floyd is a fucking monster. He does tons of damage. He's a fucking
His
tank.
back attack is good too. When he just throws the big fist backwards.
Oh, yes. There's not a single move in his repertoire that I look at and be like, that's bad.
I do like the grapple hand where he just picks him up and shocks him, or you can just punch him.
Yeah. I don't like his special is one of the weaker ones. I have to say that. But the fact that he can just pick characters up and just chuck them across the screen, like no matter what they are, bosses, regular characters, doesn't matter. It's great.
The one thing I want to say about Blaze though, that fucking German suplex. I know Adam's got one as well, but god damn, I love that snap German suplex.
Yeah. Blaze is a good character. She plays a lot like her and Axel both play a lot like they do in Streets of Rage 2 and 3, which I think was a smart move. Not much has really changed with them.
Axel's good too, but like just so slow.
Who, Axel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, he's great.
He's
if you just use use the combo like push forward twice and then X, or at least on the not the 360 Xbox One, you can fucking do the nice uppercut there, and that does a lot of damage and really hurts people. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, I could see that. But the reason I don't like Axel, and I understand this is years after the original Streets of Rage, is Axel looks like someone who took Kurt Cobain's death a little too hard. He never got out of the 90s. He's wearing the flannel shirt around his waist. He hasn't shaved in years. He looks like Kurt Cobain. He looks like he heard the news in the early 90s and he's just been drinking and getting high ever since, and he hasn't recovered. He's been going to the gym a lot. Yeah, you know what? He looks like Chris Jericho if you compare him to where Chris Jericho was to where he is now. Because, Chris Jericho was like a cruiserweight. He's nice and thin and slim. Now he's this fat dude. Yeah, that happened to Axel.
Axel Jericho. Or like the actual Axl Rose in real life too.
Yeah. He became
all energetic and skinny and on drugs. Then became a fat piece of shit.
There it is. It's life. It's what is
Don't
it?
worry, I'm a big person
life.
too, so I can make fun of bigger people.
Yeah. I'm no spring chicken anymore myself. I'm getting there. I'm Jericho sizing myself. Not supersizing, Jericho sizing. Except I'm not as muscular. For those who don't know, if you're listening, Chris Jericho is a wrestler for AEW and has done all sorts of other things. So if this is going way over your head, I apologize. Just look up Chris Jericho from WCW Nitro and then look at Chris Jericho in AEW today. Make sure he has his shirt off, okay? And then you'll understand what I'm talking about. You have to make sure he has his shirt off, though.
You got two wrestling nerds on the show today, so those references may come up.
Yes, I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. So there, I'm gonna make
can't hide what you love.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got Axel looking like a very depressed Kurt Cobain. Oh shit, Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain.
At least you didn't say Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, Kurt Gobang or Kurt.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
That's a ICP reference. We're getting all sorts of references today.
Hell yeah! We're just throwing them out there. I can't talk. Then you got Adam, and I'm happy to have Adam back in the series, man. Last time you were able to play
Adam
as him
was
in
badass.
Streets of Rage 1. He is so fucking good, man.
Like his double forward attack is fucking killer, like the big kick, and then his special attacks are really good too at clearing enemies out and or dealing a lot of damage. And he has a German suplex. Anything with a wrestling move, I'm in.
Any character that can suplex is great. Because suplexes are always good fun. I love suplexes.
Or a power bomb. I love a good power bomb too.
Oh, of course. I wish Streets of Rage characters were doing power bombs. I don't think any of them have.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Max does. He has like a jumping power bomb.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. So there's only 5 characters, by the way, that have fully animated new graphics. And that's Axel, Blaze, Cherry, Floyd, and Adam. And then every other character you get is essentially every character from the rest of the Streets of Rage franchise. So this is where I'm going to go off a little bit. I've already kind of gone off a little bit. So
Here, can I pause you for a quick second? Need to hit the bathroom really bad.
Okay. Hey, so in that case, before I go off about characters, we're going to have a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. And right before Goobz had to go, drain the lizard and make sure that his bladder was doing fine.
Fuck yeah.
I was going to go off on some character complaints, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not, but if you do, feel free to sound off, man. So, first thing.
Well, I didn't really play with many of the extra characters, so. Oh, he's not there?
I'm not. Well, Skate's there, but why isn't Skate, like, part of the main cast? Why doesn't he get, like, a cool new fully animated character with the main cast?
An updated version.
Yeah, where the fuck did he go? Why is he not part of the storyline? Maybe he was, but I didn't pay attention because the storyline was trash, so maybe that's
skated away.
Yeah, he just skated away. He's off skating somewhere. That's what he's doing. But no, that pissed me off. They just kind of got rid of Skate. I don't know if they even mention him. He just seems like thrown away. Kind of like they did with Max, kind of in Streets of Rage 3. Again, they didn't. I just didn't care. But that's the other thing. 2 other characters, Shiva and Max. More specifically, Max. They have updated character portraits. They have updated character sprites. They have move lists for them. But you can only select the retro versions.
Yes, you fight Shiva.
Yeah, you fight Max too.
Yeah. He's the wrestler, right?
Yeah, I thought you'd be pissed off because he's the professional wrestler. I thought you'd be jonesing to play as him, dude.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about him until I fought him. I'm like, oh, yeah, fuck.
You could play as him. You can unlock him. But you can't play that sprite. Same with Shiva. You can unlock Shiva. And Shiva's a fucking badass when you unlock Shiva. But you can't play as their modern iterations. And they have character models. I didn't understand why they didn't fucking do that.
Well, they could have really redone everyone. It wouldn't have been that much of a task, I think.
I think you're right. But, I mean, it is nice to have retro models in there. I think it's cute. I like it.
Oh, yeah. It's a nice throwback to the birth of the franchise. But you could have put a little more meat on the bone or give us the option of picking the new sprites or the old sprites, even for the main 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pretty much everybody except for Floyd and Cherry has an old sprite.
Yeah. But they could have gave Floyd and Cherry an old one, too.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Well, you would have hated cherries, but anyways.
I probably would have. Where's my fucking kangaroo? I want my goddamn kangaroo.
Too busy working at a bar.
He is working behind the bar, but he still has his boxing gloves on. He can come out and he can fight. He can fight with rage on the streets. What, now that we just beat up his prior owner, he just thinks he can hang out and serve us beer?
All he can serve us is Foster's, though, so it's kind of a letdown.
You say Foster's?
It's Australian for beer.
Yeah. And pretty soon he's going to be my Australian fucking dinner if he doesn't get out and fight with us. Make kangaroo steak.
People do eat
We know you're not dead, Rue. Huh?
People do eat kangaroos.
It's delicious. I love it. Kangaroo is amazing. Should have it sometime.
Oh, my wife might be hopping mad if I ate that.
I see what you did there. Okay. So we've kind of alluded to it already. The gameplay in this game, I think, is lights out. I think they really did a good job with the gameplay. I think you already kind of touched on it. The way you can juggle your enemies and string them along into combos to maximize your score. The fact that weapons are now more pronounced. I think the weapons are a lot better in Streets of Rage 4 than they were in either Streets of Rage 1 or 2. Oh, yeah. Well, go for it, man. Like,
I
what's
love
your
the
favorite
big
weapon?
spear. The big spears is the best. You can just get all the enemies in the corner and just keep whacking them with it. But
Yeah, I noticed that.
You can get bombs. You can get containers with acid in it, containers with fire, like magic bombs kind of thing. Like there's fucking hatchets. There's knives, swords, you name it. They got tasers, guns. There's all sorts of shit you can get your hands on in this game. Stop signs. Stop signs are good too. I like any lengthy weapon that can just beat someone senseless with.
I do love the spear because you go into that level where you have the spear, and that's where you have people coming out of both sides of the room, and you just go back and forth, and just go whack, whack. Just fucking slaughtering them back and forth until one of those little fuckers with the spear starts charging at you.
See, there's people coming on the right. I would jump over them, get them in with the people on the left, and just like smack them all in a big like souffle of enemies.
That's a really good idea.
I really enjoyed that shit. I was giggling in glee at the murderous rampage I was causing.
Because you hit them once and they're all done. Because they're like the weakest dudes, the Galcias.
Yes.
And so you can just make one hit and they're all dead. And then you just watch them all fall.
But you get flooded with them though,
fun.
and they just start running at you with all their pointy objects. Like, get out of here!
It just disrupts your combo. That always made me sad. Get my combo all the way up, and then I'm just trying to avoid them, and they start charging at me with the spear. I'm like, fuck, man. Because lives, yeah, earning lives is pretty important in this game because it's not exactly the easiest.
No, it's not easy at all. It has a good challenge to it, which I appreciate.
Yeah, but it's balanced. It's not too hard.
No, you can get through. You just gotta be a little smarter than the average bear, and it's not too much of an issue.
Well, it's not like Final Fight or the original Streets of Rage where you just get swarmed, and it becomes like this giant bukkake gangbang in those games. This one, at least you have some room to breathe.
Yeah, there were some levels though that the enemies do come pretty hard down on you, but it's manageable. You use your special attacks and everything. And the good thing about the special attacks, if you use them, you have a chance to hit people and get your HP back. So it's not a total waste of your... Because most beat 'em ups, you just use your special and will just eat your health away, and you don't get a chance to regain it. And in this one, you can, which is awesome.
Yeah, it feels like a compromise between what they did in Streets of Rage 3 and Streets of Rage 2. Or in Streets of Rage 3, you had that charge meter, and once it went up to OK, you could use the special move without losing anything. But in the previous Streets of Rage games, like most beat-em-ups, you do the special move and you lose health. This provides a balance for that, which I appreciated. And I thought was really cool. Novel idea.
Oh yeah, because you definitely need those in the later levels. You need to use your shit.
And then you have those star attacks. Did you ever really use the star attacks? I didn't find too much use for them except on bosses.
I just used them on bosses. That was it.
And even then, they were more to like bail my ass out of some shit. They didn't really do anything too drastic. But they served to get a lot of points in between levels, which, if you're playing in arcade mode, can give you lives, which is nice.
Yes. And it's good for clearing. If there's a whole bunch of people there, it's good for clearing shit too. There's one thing I know where you're going next, but I want to talk about the food.
Let's talk about the food.
The different choices you can get. It's amazing.
What do we got in our trash cans?
So you can go to the options menu, and you can change, like you can make it a rice bun for your small one, or apple, or there's a whole bunch of different things you can make, but for the large ones, you can get a fucking poutine. Or at least that's what I'm calling it. And I'm Canadian, so I was very happy to eat a poutine to regain my health.
What version was that? Was this the Xbox version?
You can do it on the Switch one as well. You just go to options menu and you can change your food.
I didn't know that.
There's lots of different options.
Yeah, I know that.
Pizza, donuts, all sorts of shit.
No shit. Can you make it random? So it's like stage appropriate or anything?
I don't believe so. I think you just pick. You might be able to. I don't know. I just know you can pick from 5 or 6 different things, maybe even more. Yeah, there's all sorts of different stuff, but it's great. Like you can get the giant like meat turkey from Castlevania, like that kind of shit, or the meat with the bone sticking out of it.
Huh. I did not know that. I love that. I love knowing that.
So I went with a rice bun and poutine because why the fuck not?
I didn't know poutine was a Canadian thing.
Oh, it's very much a Canadian thing. It was invented in Quebec.
Oh, very nice. Well, I mean, outside of being invented in Quebec, but other than that, it sounds nice.
Fuck Quebec. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, because they don't understand what you're saying, because it's all French.
Exactly. But yeah, I was very happy to see, like, that's just a little thing, but it's so cool that you can just change your food options. It's such a stupid thing to talk about, but like in games, you don't normally get to do that. And they went that extra little mile to give you that option.
Well, they also have a lot of those other options, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the music, but you can change the music back and forth from retro to current. You can change some of the filters, the way the game looks, like have it look all completely 16-bit and pixelated, which I think looks like shit, but you can do it. And I guess there's another option that was like bloom, and I didn't understand what was going on there. I didn't play with it for too long.
I just stuck with the main hand-drawn shit because I'm like, this is perfect right now.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. That was the best way to do it. But when it comes to gameplay, man, those invincibility frames, you know, when you're fighting some of those characters and then they like flash white and you can't do shit to them. You know you're getting
fucked.
Yeah. The worst violation of it is when you're fighting Mr. Y in the helicopter at I think it's the second to last stage. I think it's the second to last stage.
Yeah, before Y Island.
Yeah, before Y Island. And he's not a hard boss. He is a pretty easy boss, by the by. I didn't have many issues with him. You start beating up on him, and then he starts firing bazookas at you. And that's one of his invincibility frames. He's on his knees firing a bazooka, and when you hit him, nothing happens. But then you go to the final level, and when he fires the bazooka, he's not invincible. I think that's bullshit.
Yes.
Because he's running all over like a fucking squirrel monkey, and he's not hard to hit, but you got to catch up with him. And the slower guys like Axel and Floyd, they struggle. And then you can't even do shit to him.
That's why Cherry's the best. Just jump on his head. Just beat his fucking head in.
Cherry's perfect for that boss. I'll give her that. Like, she's really good for that boss. But man, those invincibility frames fuck me up, man.
They're
like
bad
the biker
on some
chicks.
other characters too.
What's that?
I hated the biker guy. I think you were just mentioning that. He was
biker dude?
The karate guy. He was a fucking... Oh, I thought you were going to say... Never mind. But that karate guy is a piece of shit for his flashing moves. He just like kicks across the whole screen.
Or then he does the one he doesn't flash and you hit him, he turns it into a counter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the guy you have to pay attention to and how you fight, because especially when there's multiple of them, that kind of sucks. But the biker chicks, I didn't know you thought they were dudes. Maybe I might be wrong. I thought they were chicks.
No, I thought... I'm talking about the leader of the biker gang, like the Kung Fu master. Fighting in the back of the parking lot with all the motorcycles around. Because when like his invincibility thing goes on, like it goes on. It's like you can't hit him at all for like at least 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, and he keeps on doing that fucking kick shit.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. The spin kicks or like normal kicks. Like he's a pain in the ass.
Oh, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. I just try to pick up his bike and hit him with it. Like the remnants of his bike.
Oh, yes.
And it also sucks that every single time you break one of his bikes, or the biker game's bikes, another one of the biker gang comes out to fight you.
Yeah, so you can get quite a lot of people. Then you just start whipping weapons at them. Fuck it.
Yeah, you just got to do what you got to do. That's a hard fight, man. That's one of the harder bosses.
Yeah, he's about midway through the game.
I'd say later mid-half, but yeah, he's midway through. He's a pain in the ass. I am happy, though, when you fall off like a cliff. There's a couple levels. They start pretty early. I think it's like in stage 2 or 3 where you can start going down holes or where you fall off elevators. It's not an automatic death. I do appreciate that. It just takes a lot of health away. But for the bad guys, it's an automatic death. That I do like.
You can whip them right off. See ya.
Yep. Now some bad guys, they suck and they'll keep knocking you off. So the first elevator level isn't too bad, but then you have the fat dudes, the one who breathes fire, the one who rolls, and then the other one who just jumps at you.
Oh, yeah, they've been around since the beginning.
Yeah, well, the guy who breathes fire has been, but fuck those guys in this game, especially if you got more than one of them on the screen at once. They are relentless.
How can they swan dive like that? They'll jump up and like belly splash you out of nowhere. It's like, how the fuck can you jump that high? I'm a bigger gentleman myself. I can't jump that fucking high.
He's like Bam Bam Bigelow, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's another wrestling reference, by the way.
Or Keith Lee.
Keith, yes. They're Keith Lee, man. They're all Keith. They're Keith Lee's cousin. That's what they are. They're
Tony
Keith Lee's
Lee.
cousin. Tony Lee. Yeah, they're like, the guy who can swan dive, he has a homing missile on your ass. That's the other thing. Like, trying to avoid that motherfucker, especially as Floyd, you can forget about it.
Good luck.
You can fucking forget about it.
Like, even Floyd, when you're fighting the cop boss, is fucking terrible. When you're fighting the chick, and she keeps calling in the napalm strikes on you, good luck getting out of those. Yeah. You're getting hit by that fire.
Yeah, because other than that, she's an easy boss. She's a really easy boss.
Yeah,
even on the train,
fighter.
She's not hard. What's the other thing? So we have the invincibility frames, and that sucked. I talked about the fat dudes because they suck. They add a little bit of challenge. And the other thing what's the last thing I was going to say that really irritated me? Oh, not Ms. Y, the fencing chick, the second to last boss.
Oh yeah, the sister.
That was a hard boss fight because the mecha, when they get into their fucking mecha spider, that's not tough at all. That thing takes huge damage when you beat it up.
Yeah, you just keep smacking the leg. I brought a mace into that match with me and just kept on smacking it with a mace. Fuck off.
How'd you get a mace in there?
You can bring weapons with you.
Like, did you drop it in the room with the boss? Like when you're fighting against the fencing chick, Miss Y?
Yeah, I'd always try to bring a weapon with me.
That's awesome. That makes sense. Huh. That'd been fun. Oh yeah, fuck the taser cop.
But I kind of like when the cops come in, when there's other characters on the screen too, like the other bad guys, and they start just duking it out. I'll just stand back and let them fight. I'm like, you have at her, boys.
Oh yeah, that's fun because I think it maintains your combo too if you're going for score. So if you're like ripping through dudes and you get to another scene and the cops and the punks are beating each other up, then your combo, like your hit meter, it will maintain. It won't like die off. So if you're trying to build your score up and you're in an area or beating the shit out of each other, your score won't go down. But the taser cop, so here's what the taser cop does for all y'all listening. You walk up to the taser cop he flashes red, and as soon as he flashes red, just reaches out, grabs you, and throws you to the ground and stuns you, and does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, he'll shock you.
And it's really difficult to avoid. Now, all you got to do is like jump kick him, and he'll drop his taser, and then you get the taser, and it's a one-use item for you, but it does a lot of damage. So that's useful.
Hell yeah, it does.
The thing is in some of these situations, you have to preserve the taser, because you can take that taser and you can shock the arcade machines. And the arcade machines will give you a battle from Streets of Rage 2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
It's cool. You fight, who do you fight? You fight the first boss from Streets of Rage 2, Bourbon, the guy or Barbon, whatever his name is, the biker gang leader. You fight him. You
Milli
fight
Vanilli, I call him. The guy with the dreads.
You call him what?
Milli Vanilli.
He doesn't have dreads. He's the bar owner.
Oh, I'm thinking about the big biker guy with the yellow hair.
Why? I don't know.
Anyways.
Who's a big biker? Yeah, moving forward. The next one you can fight is Blanca, the Blanca guy, or Freddy Krueger Blanca.
Oh, cool.
And then you can fight the Ultimate Warrior boss, and then you fight Shiva and Mr. X.
I'll have to go back and do that.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. And it gives you an extra star and a bunch of points. They're the only one I struggle with, the one I haven't even beat yet, is the one with Shiva and Mr. X. That one's pretty tough because you only get one life.
Hey, you taught me about that, and I taught you about the food.
Yeah, exactly. I need to go make sure I can change all the food. But I might be pretty rageful about this when I'm talking about fuck all these bad guys, but ultimately that's a sign of a good beat 'em up because it's still balanced. I still had a really good time with it. I still enjoyed fighting things, and that's what you really want out of a beat 'em up. You want to be able to have a good time, and you want to be able to be frustrated while you're having a good time. I think if it's too easy, you're going to get bored, and if it's too hard, you're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's talk about the music for a quick sec.
Let's do it. What do you think of it? What was your overall impressions?
Oh, I loved it. It was kind of like droning music, and then get a high pace at some points, but it was droning where you needed it to be, and like droning is not really a bad thing. It was just like music in the background, but that's okay with a beat 'em up. And when it got like high stakes, it kind of picked up the pace. That's what I found. And one of the best tracks is when you're on the airplane. That song's a fucking banger. There's a lot of good music in this game. Granted, I didn't go back and play the other versions of the music, but I really enjoyed the new music that they brought forward on this one.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a disagreement here, man. I didn't care for it. I did not care for the new music. Something was missing. In my first playthrough, the first 2 playthroughs I had. Now, Streets of Rage 2, I mean, just the Streets of Rage music in general, and this is why I think Streets of Rage 3, a lot of people had a problem with it. The music is a staple for the series. So, like, Streets of Rage 1 and Streets of Rage 2 have incredible soundtracks. Streets of Rage 3, not so much. Streets of Rage 4, something was missing the first 2 playthroughs. I got done with the first 2 playthroughs, and I told myself, I don't know if I like this game. There's something about this game I don't like. I don't know what it is. It controls fine. All the characters are here. It's giving me everything I want. There's something here I don't like. I changed the music over to the retro version, and then all of a sudden I'm having a fucking blast. And it's like it takes music samples from the Genesis games and the Game Gear games or Master System games, and it just throws it in there. And some of it is like wildly weird and inappropriate if you know the source material.
Yeah.
But I thought, I don't know, it got me hyped. It got me pumped up. It got my blood pumping. And I was like, oh, maybe this was what was missing. So I'm not saying the music's bad. If you like it, you like it. I just thought there was something about it that just wasn't as good as the first 2 Streets of Rage games. And I really think that impacted my play experience the first couple times I played it.
Yeah, makes sense. I kind of enjoyed the music, so
no,
I'll have to go back and play the other version, like with the old school music. I probably even enjoy it more, but like, it is what it is. It's not too bad. I've listened to a lot of shitty video game music. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite enjoyable for me from listening to some of the old stuff I've been listening to, which is garbage for the most part.
That's fair.
I normally don't listen to music during games either. I actually did like listen to the music. Sometimes I'll just put on a podcast or listen to actual music while I'm playing the game. Like I'll set a playlist of songs that I think will go good with the game. I'm that fucking hardcore nerd, I guess. But yeah, I didn't for this one. I just played through it just normal.
Right.
Okay, Toby, you fuck.
I had to get that in there.
Right. Go listen to my show to figure out why I hate that so much.
I'm also a little disappointed there wasn't any voice acting in the cutscenes. I mean, if you're going to have cutscenes like they did, I want the voice acting. I think I would have liked a little bit more voice acting from the characters in general.
There was more voice acting in fucking Turtles in Time. Cowabunga!
There is more, and I like it, man. It's so great in Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time is great. I love Turtles in Time. I love the voice acting in Turtles in Time. My toe, my hole. It's great.
My hole. Another wrestling reference.
Yeah. Now I think everyone stopped listening because all the wrestling reference that we've done.
Yeah, that's what we're used to.
Oh, man. Yeah, sorry we're all smarks, ladies and gentlemen. We do what we can. Would that have made you be more invested in the cutscenes though for the story if they had voice acting for the characters, or they just
I wouldn't have skipped through them as fast as I did.
Yeah.
Normally when you hear voices, like you'll stop and listen to, at least give credit to the voice actors that are doing it. At least hear the voices a couple times and like, okay, fuck this. If you're bored of it, you're bored of it, and just skip right through it.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll give our final thoughts. Welcome back, as we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna say what we finally think about this game, as Goobz is wont to do on his show, which again you should definitely check out. They rate all their games on a 1 to 10 scale, and
give a rating from 1 to 10 because we're simple folk.
That's what they say on their show. I'm trying to plug your show as much as I can, man. I do love your show, as you know. But go ahead and give your final thoughts. What'd you think of the game, man?
I thought it was nearly perfect.
Okay.
The graphics were fucking phenomenal. The music is great. The pacing of the game is fucking really good. like for a beat 'em up, like you get exactly what you want. You know what you're going into when you play one of these games. And this game does it kind of flawlessly. It's up there with like the games, like the Simpsons arcade game. I put that right in there with all of them, like X-Men, Ninja Turtles, and Time. I put this right up there with all of them, all the greats. Because I really enjoyed it. They added a couple of things that are new to the genre, which is great, like the weapon juggling, and then the combo system too is fucking phenomenal. There's not really much too bad I can say about this game. Some of the bosses are a little harder than others, which is just what it is. And you need that little bit of challenge. It's something you want to persevere through. So you get that, like say you die doing arcade mode or something, okay, well I'm going to go back and fucking try even harder. I'm going to beat this motherfucker's head in. And that's what you're going to do, because you're going to do it no matter what. This game's not too difficult. It's a lot of fucking fun, and it has elevator levels. The only thing, one thing is missing from it is like that generic going on a motorcycle or whatever the fuck, like a hover, whatever, like the fast levels where you're going through on things that normal beat 'em ups have. But I throw that aside, and I still really enjoy this game. Should I give it a rating here?
Go for it, man.
I'm gonna give this one a solid 9 out of 10.
Damn, that's a high standard. I'm impressed.
I fucking really enjoyed this game. The fact that you can play as the other characters as well. The unlocks, granted, the sprites don't really hold up to what the new ones should be, but it's still a nice little throwback. And there's so many different options in there. They throw in there with the music that you told me about. I'm gonna go back and try that. And now you know about the food, which is a nice little sweet option. Like that's fucking adorable that you can do that. So no matter what region you're playing in, you can, well, granted, they changed all the languages too. There's tons of different language options. Thank God there's, I'm sad there's no Canadian, so they can't talk about maple syrup mooses and whatever hockey, eh? But.
So you're probably not upset about there not being any maple syrup in there.
Yeah, no, fuck maple syrup. This is devil's juice.
That's the food of your people.
No, poutine's the food of our people, which is in this game.
Maple syrup covered poutine then.
But yeah, I really suggest this game to anyone who has been a fan or is not a fan of Streets of Rage. Go out and try this one, because it might win you back over into that genre. Super fun. What about you, Chris?
Okay, I agree with a lot of what you said. I'll say that this is definitely one of the better beat 'em ups I've played in a long time. It's not the best beat 'em up I played in a long time, but it's certainly one of the better ones. The fact that it has the old school Streets of Rage 2 formula, without getting too much into how they kind of broke it with Streets of Rage 3, I definitely appreciate it. A lot of the gameplay changes they made in terms of being able to recover your health after a special move are huge. The star moves that they included just kind of break it up and add an added element to the fight. The characters are well designed. They're implemented well into the environment. Everything looks right. Everything feels right. But I just can't shake that something just isn't quite there that I got from Streets of Rage 2. And that just be my crazy, rose tinted glasses looking back at Streets of Rage 2 and me thinking,
yeah, you got the nostalgia factor, right?
Yeah, of course. I still go back and play Streets of Rage 2, and that could be it. And maybe I'm just always trying to compare to getting the same experience out of something that I'm never going to necessarily get again, because I'm not playing it again for the first time.
Oh, it's like the first time you have sex, right?
I'm not going there, but that wasn't exactly memorable either, especially not for them. But that sounded way worse than it was. But I actually enjoyed River City Girls a lot more than I enjoyed Streets of Rage 4. But if I had to go back,
River City Girls is a great game.
It's a phenomenal game. But if I had to go back and play one game start to finish, it would definitely be Streets of Rage 4, just because I could play Streets of Rage 4 and be done with it in an hour and a half. And it is a little long for a beat 'em up. That's fine. It feels great. And if you want to go through the story mode, you can save it and save your progress. But I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It ticks all the boxes that I want. And 8's still solid. It's still an extremely solid game. And if you like beat 'em ups, for sure, go fucking play this game. It will make you happy if you love beat 'em up games. I'm going to say River City Girls is the better of the two options, but if you're going digital, and especially if you have Game Pass, you can you can play Streets of Rage 4 for free, essentially.
Both of those games are on Game Pass, so you can play River City Girls as well.
Exactly. Play them both. They're both great for different reasons, but we're talking about Streets of Rage 4 here. Give it an 8. Play it. Love it. Appreciate it. And especially because I want a Streets of Rage 5. I want more Streets of Rage games. So whatever I had complaints about here, they could fix and make better going forward. And there's not a lot to fix. So I really think it's a good time. So there it is. Between the two of us, I think that's 8.5. That's definitely worth checking out in my book. And just a fantastic game. One more time, Goobz. Go ahead and plug everything. I know you didn't plug everything, and let us know one more time where we can find you on the interwebs, socials and all that shit.
Well, you can follow Secret Levels, got an Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Go join the group there. Go do all that stuff. BadSecretMedia.com. You get a link to the other shows that we do or used to do. They're a lot of fun. We have probably about over 100 episodes each. The Secret Transmission and the Derailers. So go check out that fun random shit. If you like random shit or if you like spooky stuff, go listen to Secret Transmission. Have a good time with that. And you can also, can I shout out our little family place here?
Of course. Yeah, everything, man.
Come join. Some of you might already be in there because I know some of the patrons are already in this group, but come join our fucking Discord, the Secret Levels Discord. Come have a lot of fun in there. And Zodiac's in there with us all the time, or Chris, whatever. I'll call you both names. But
it works.
Yeah, come join our family there. We play games and have a lot of fun and just have random chats. It's a lot of great times. You can follow me on my personals at GoobzWN. That's on Twitter and Instagram. I don't do Facebook. And then, yeah, please just enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy this show. Enjoy all the shows. Listen to everything. Let your ears become pussies for the cocks that are podcast.
But some people are assholes, and they shit all everything. They need the dicks to fuck assholes, too.
Yeah, fuck assholes.
All right. Once again, thank you so much. And yeah, definitely head over to their Discord if you're in for some fun banter. I've been there now for the better part of the past year, and we have a great time over there, especially playing Jackbox with everybody there. And I know a lot of you. There's a lot of cross integration between our two Discord servers. So once again, hey Goobz, thank you so much for showing up here on the.
Oh fuck! Thanks for having me, man. This has been a blast.
Yeah, and I know we went through a lot of difficulties. You cheated death to be on this show.
I did, and in my voice, I lost my voice yesterday, but now it's like somewhat back to normal.
I can't thank you enough. And by the time you're listening to this, you've probably already heard Goobz on our wrestling episode that he is going to be on right before WrestleMania.
Fuck yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. We recorded this before that. So if you want to hear Goobz again, go back and listen to that episode. Unless Shane places this in front of this episode to spite me. Don't do that, Shane. Please save me some embarrassment.
Don't sit on this gold, Shane.
Shut up, Goobz. Until next time.
I'll give you a handy, Shane.
Play with your raging joysticks. Bye, everybody.